Thank you, Dave. All right, folks, it's 6 o'clock. And we call over this work session, the city board for July. We got a short agenda now, but we got a thorough agenda. We'll thank everybody for coming tonight. And guys, kind of thin, but that's okay. We'll get through this. We're going to start off with a pledge, with an invocation and a pledge. Dear Lord, thank you for the blessings of the day. Give us strength, courage, and wisdom to make the proper decision for the city of Louisville. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank y'all. Okay. All right. Time now for citizens' comments, but the city council has adopted a policy. Here's the policy. We'll follow for citizen comments. A time for public citizen comments will be made available at the beginning and ending of each city of Louisville work session and council meeting. Comments can be made by anyone, including business owners whose businesses are located within the Louisville city limits. Comments will not be limited to any topic. Comments must be directed to the mayor and the council. Language must remain civil, and speakers should avoid personal attacks on the council or staff. Speakers should state their name and address. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. A timer will be set, and in 3 minutes, the speaker will be asked to bring their comment to a close. If there's something else to be said, an opportunity will be available at the next session of citizen comments. Anybody got anything you want to say?
Voice me. Hello, good evening. Robert Russell, 620 Naramore Way.
Is it on?
Is it on? Flip it on.
There you go.
Good. All right. Reset your timer 5 seconds. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Robert Grizzle, 640 Naramore Way, Louisville, Georgia. Listen, again, we're beating a dead horse here on this subdivision, but you know, it's actually not as hard as it seems to be, what all this fuss has been about. There is an approved subdivision plat to start construction on any subdivision in the state of Georgia. In order to start that subdivision, they had to present to the then council and administration a subdivision plat. That subdivision plat, regardless of the type of land it was on, being 2 different types of land, was approved. And the approved setbacks on that subdivision plat were 35, 15, 15, 15. So any new setbacks on agricultural or any kind of zoning that was bestowed later after that approved plat, be it agricultural property or residential property, does not pertain to that property that was on the subdivision plat that was approved. So there's been a whole hoopla, a lot of nothing about all of this stuff when it's just pretty much, y'all might not want to agree, the city managers might not want to agree. It comes down to something real simple. There's an approved subdivision plat. That those setbacks do not change even when the zoning or setbacks around the area change. The setbacks that was approved for the subdivision at the time of construction is written in stone. And it's, any other zoning or setbacks does not apply to that subdivision. Naramore is one of them. I don't know about the other 2 subdivisions. I don't know when they were built, whatever in this, but that setback change does not apply to a subdivision that has an approved subdivision plat, not just one that went out there and somebody built. An approved subdivision plat was done for that subdivision, and it was approved with those setbacks, and that doesn't change. Even when other agricultural property changes, it doesn't change the subdivision. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Anybody else?
Hang on, Joe.
Go on, Matt.
Evening. So we're back here again.
Matt Hall. 6439 Naramore Way.
Yes, sir. That's me. So we're back up here again with these setbacks. I was hoping, I don't even see it on here. I was hoping we were going to talk about it today. Is that the case?
Look at 6A.
6A.
We didn't talk about
Sorry.
that.
I'm sorry about
It's
that.
okay, keep confusing stuff, it's okay.
Anyway,
We're working
yeah.
on the problem.
I just want to repeat what Grizzle said about the setbacks. You know, that subdivision was put in 95, and here we are today. You know, change the setbacks, and I'm trying to build a building, can't build a building, can't use property. But I will say that I heard some oh, he's not in the room, but I believe is it Frank? Oh, right there. Sorry. Told a neighbor that when she was wanting the plot for the neighborhood and they couldn't provide it, that I guess she couldn't have her building her way. So that's just saying, you know, I guess you own property, then yeah, hell with you. Excuse my language, but you can't do with your property as you want. So I wanted to point that out. That was real interesting.
Don't attack staff.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize then. I'm not trying to attack anybody. It's just what I heard, so hearsay. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else?
How y'all doing?
Good.
Tim Van Tassel, 6443 Naramore Way. Here, kind of like Matt said, here we are. I guess this will be discussed later on, maybe not voted on, what have you. But back in April, I think it was April. I don't know, I don't have notes, I don't keep up with this sort of thing, but it was discussed then that the reason this was put in, the city voted this in, was because so nobody could build houses on top of one another, and it made sense. It makes sense, you know, to cram houses in on top of one another. But at that same meeting, it was discussed that it was just a mistake, and that this could be resolved right here without doing variances or anything else, and just put it back the way it used to be. Because that subdivision is built out. It's done. We're talking about a couple little buildings behind our yard. That's it. And I think that it should just go back the way it was. Like y'all even mentioned, I think it was in April, May. Anyways, appreciate your time. And hopefully this will work out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stephanie Miller, 6443 Naramore Way. I came in today to the office to find out exactly what it is I needed to do. And I was handed a piece of paper for variance. And we're not asking for variance. Who's asking for it to be put back? And talking with this gentleman, he's telling me it could be as much as 60 more days or more. And the zoning committee was doing its work sessions, and then they present something to you all, I guess, is how it's going to come down to. And I asked at the time, and this is what got me, and these are the words that were said from this man. I said, who's on that zoning committee? There's 3 people. He says, well, I don't have their names right handy. I'll have to look them up. And we further discussed, and I was talking to him, and I said, I want to contact these folks. He says, no, that's what the variance paper's for. I'm thinking, okay. And then he told me that I'm not supposed to be speaking to these people. And these are the people that are telling me what I can and can't do with the property I own. And I told him today that, you know, we've been up here. I've been up here. I've talked a couple times, and I've been told this and this was going to happen. And I can't find the meetings because too busy to put the minutes of the meetings online. I can't find the videotape online so I can see where you guys said we'll bypass this variance, whatever, and we'll get it. And there was something going to be put in the paper. It couldn't be put in May because it was too late for May. It could be put in June, and I knew something in June. No, it was April, be put in May, and I'd know something in June. And today I'm being told it could be as much or more than 60 more days for this. And I was told that government is just slow. And I don't know about y'all, but the government sure ain't slow when it comes to my taxes and me paying my tax bills. I think it should be handled in a timely fashion. And we had people out on the properties at the end of March. We're April, May, June, and now I'm July. We're talking August, September. You told me probably at least 60 more days. And I'm like, is our government that slow on something that's this much? I think it's a minor thing. I don't think we're asking a lot. We would like to build a 30 by 40 building. And we don't want to do the variance, that we want the setbacks that it originally was. And I think 6 months, 8 months, that's too long. That's why there's meetings and people have their work sessions and stuff. So it's not taking this long. And it's great that it's being set off, but I'm the one that's got property that trying to mow this is I'm out there weed eating because I don't want to pay somebody to come back and redo something that's going to have to be redone again and again. We've already paid for things to be clear. That was our side. We should have contacted. But we thought with owning that property, it was 15-15. And anyways, I'm just asking for it not to be another 60 days. I think it's gone on long enough. I mean, what is so major that it's going to take 6 months? Thank you.
Anybody else? I want to address some of this stuff. Have y'all looked at 6503 Naramore Way? Have y'all looked at the house built on that lot? Have you looked at setbacks on that
Down at the
lot?
box.
6503 Naramore Way.
Up there in the cul-de-sac,
No, it's on top of the hill.
up the hill cul-de-sac, the
Mhm.
white box,
Mhm.
one that's built like a box.
Mhm.
I thought about that today. It's right there at the lines on the front and the sides.
And I'm still trying to figure out how that got built. I don't know. I'm asking you a question. I don't know.
Yeah, I was
We have
wondering
no
about that because
idea.
that was built within the time of the
It's in your
setback.
subdivision, and evidently it makes me setbacks that y'all want.
I'm
Now think
sorry.
about this. Y'all want the subdivision, y'all want the setback to 15 feet. That's what that house barely is, if it is.
I think it's 35 on the front, 15 on the side, but it's 15 on both sides.
It's barely.
Barely, if it's 15 on both sides, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, me
But I
too.
think it's maybe 35 off the front and then 15 on each side. That's just a mystery to me why that was, I know y'all
Y'all
have nothing to do
love
with
the
it,
house,
the
y'all
way
love
the
the
house
house.
looks.
You love it sit there, right?
But
Love
that-
what it looks right there, right? How
Yeah.
close it is next to
That box.
y'all love that?
Yeah.
And that's what y'all want. And
Yeah.
We're
everybody's-
talking about our backyard, sir.
Not the front yard, it's in our back. We're not front yard. It's clear
I'm
enough
just
back.
asking.
It's 300 feet back.
And that little house there that you're talking about, Mr. Joe,
Somebody approved it.
somebody approved it.
I know.
Right
No.
there he is.
No.
Okay.
That was real poor. It was-
Yeah, and it was approved during this time of these, big old setbacks, because the thing is,
Yeah, it was after that.
it does not apply to a approved subdivision.
Right.
That's already been built. When y'all change the zoning or setbacks on agricultural, it would not apply to a subdivision plat that's already been approved. What, 1989?
Like I
No,
said.
92 or something, 5?
Item 6A on the agenda, we'll address that tonight. Planning Commission has addressed it. We're going to continue addressing this. We're still working on it. It's not settled yet. We don't know what's going to happen to all this.
Yeah, it's just,
Well, when is it?
No, I mean, I agree with you why you put them in place. I do, because I don't want
Yeah.
houses stacked on top of each other.
How come we can't settle this issue?
Here we
Why
go.
does it have to just keep going on and on?
but the fact of the matter is, it does not apply. And why should it turn into a legal battle?
He's not showing anybody the plat for the subdivision and what it was really built as.
We're looking for it.
Well, y'all should have it on file.
You don't.
Y'all are the one person that should have it.
I've already contacted the
If I may,
courthouse, so.
Does Hall County have it?
if I may,
No, it was City of Lula, so it was a deal.
If I may,
Y'all?
recorded plats are recorded at the Superior Court office,
Right.
not at the city. They're signed here. Should be
Well, that
a
means
copy,
they'll
I
come
agree
tomorrow.
with you, but there isn't one here. So the official one is at the Superior Court of Hall County.
I didn't think so.
When Ken Robinson came up here to develop this, he had to bring, just like y'all do, y'all got a bunch of drawings in there of every subdivision that's ever been built in the city of Lula or going to be built in the city of Lula, and the city keeps those plats on file for many reasons, and this being one of them. That should be on file. If that was not on file, if y'all did not have that, that is a very lack of common knowledge, why y'all are to keep things like that. If there was a crisis in that subdivision and emergency services needed to know, y'all need to be able to pull that out on that table in there and show emergency services the layout of that subdivision. That's why the city keeps it. The city should have that.
I'm trying to keep this meeting going, so we, but I realize y'all are upset about this, and we're still working, trying to solve the problems, but it's gonna take us some, I don't know the answer.
I called City Hall today. City Hall doesn't have it either.
Well, now, like Frank just said, Superior Court, Hall County.
That's who I called.
Oh, you said you called City Hall, that's not,
It's City Hall, Superior Court.
no, that's
Clerk of Superior.
the Clerk of Court, Superior Court, Hall County.
That's who I called. And they don't have any, they didn't have a push button on there for what I wanted. And I went to 4 different people today. It's been an hour and a half, 4 different people. Nobody. Now, I called the deeds and people. One guy said I could come in and he could try and assist me, but there was nothing he could do over the phone. And he wasn't sure he could find it that far back. Another one, we only go back 10 years.
But you want the city to go like 30 years. And Hall County says they go about 10 years, you want us to go like 30 years. Now, I expect more from us to do for the county.
I'm expecting, I would think somebody has it somewhere.
We're working, we're trying to figure this out like you are. It's causing us as much grief this year. It's not involving us, but we're still causing us grief because we hear grief from you. And we're trying to fix it, find the answers.
I mean, when Mr. Holmes here, you should know about this, as
I
Mr.
tried.
Subdivision plat.
We had an agenda item, and I was gonna save my comment for the agenda item, but I'm happy
We're
to.
trying to get down to it.
Yeah, because he can talk more about a recorded subdivision plat.
I can. And I'll either respond since we're addressing it here, or
Since we're having a debate instead of a meeting,
I'd be happy to discuss it.
it seems to become a town hall instead of.
Do we need to vote to move it up, or are we good just to go ahead?
I'll address it since it's been brought up, if it's all
All
right.
right, let's just move to 6.
Yeah, let's go ahead and see, we're going to cover 6 right now.
Here, a lot of the questions, I understand what your frustration is, and that's why when these ordinances are drafted, the city is bound, as any local government, to balance the government's interest, which is to protect the entire community with the individual property rights. So in connection with the plat that you're referencing, they're recorded on the plat records up at Hall County. From what you're describing, I think what you were told when you called on the phone, a lot of those are online. You can go to the clerk's website, it's a state website, and I'll do this tomorrow, and pull it up and see if that plat for Naramore is available online. 89 is right at about the time it's cut off. I'll just see if it's still there as far as being online. But anything filed with the courthouse will be there. So if it's not online, then we can go to the courthouse and try to find it through the plat index and either look at a name or the subdivision name. But we'll do that. We'll follow through with that. The second part that's been repeated many times amounts to, under the law, what's called vested rights, or common parlance is its grandfather. And some of the lots may be grandfathered if you have in fact relied upon that setback that was shown on that subdivision plat. And the principal way to show reliance is you got a permit. So the discussion about the house that's there that may be within the previous setbacks but are not within the current, once you get that permit, you are grandfathered. You do have vested rights. But if you've not relied upon the setback or anything within the ordinance before it's changed, then that just becomes an issue about whether you do have vested rights or you're required to comply with the new ordinance despite the setback that is shown on the plat. So a lot of the questions that have been brought up, if you apply for a variance, I encourage you as part of that to say, I have vested rights. And if you can show that you relied upon the language of the previous ordinance, including the setback, whether that was through some expenditure, whether that was other than buying your lot, that's not deemed reliance sufficiently to acquire vested rights. But if you made arrangements to start applying for a permit, or if you in fact obtained a permit, then you have vested rights to proceed with those previous setbacks. So the city is bound to review each circumstance separately, even though I recognize it's a subdivision plat. As far as the process that we're going through, it's to amend the ordinance. Well, it's not just to amend this one section of the ordinance as it relates to Naramore and the setbacks in Naramore. There are a number of other issues that council has directed to be reviewed. So when we do that, it first goes through staff. Staff means it goes through the city manager, the assistant city manager, and me. It's presented to the committee of the council that does planning and zoning, and that committee is separate and distinct from the planning commission, which are the three folks that were mentioned to you today. And it has been brought up at the planning commission meetings. They meet on the first Tuesday of each month at 6. Those are public meetings. Y'all are welcome to attend. And they discuss the setbacks at the July meeting, and they are going to be reviewing the setback information and will likely recommend to the council at the August meeting. But state law, as it relates to amending a zoning ordinance, requires that we have 2 public hearings. So after it's all been vetted, then we will run the ads. That was the ads you were talking about, we discussed before, that we have to run the ads in order to proceed with those 2 public hearings. Otherwise, the whole process is void. Those are the things that the mayor is mentioning that is being worked through. But I encourage you that if on your individual lots you're ready to proceed, the only option available to you at this point is to apply for a variance, and you're welcome. And I encourage you to assert within that application that you believe you have vested rights, and you will be given every opportunity to explain why you believe you have vested rights. And the government, the council, generally bends over backwards if there's any arguable position for vested rights to approve that.
Thank you, Joey. You said a whole lot better than I could have. Does that help any, do you understand better what we're about to do? I mean, it's something we have to do, and has to make y'all do, and y'all, you get frustrated, so are we now, so.
I think if we were told this from the beginning, it would be a different thing. We wouldn't be so upset.
Can I address one thing? Where you brought up the June thing, at the time that we made that, when we then set out to do that where it would be on the June, we realized there was a lot more issues than just this one, and that's why it didn't happen in that time frame.
Your problem must have other problems.
It revealed, when we went to dig into what you were talking about, it revealed other issues that we needed to address, and it all needs to be addressed at one time, and that's what extended it out longer, a longer period of time than the June time that we all thought we were gonna be. We thought it was gonna be a simple fix, and it ended up being a bigger issue than just Naramore Way.
Well, why didn't you just say that? It's just transparency. Then I
I
wouldn't.
believe I have said that several
It was
times.
brought up last month as well.
Last
Was
month,
it?
I said
Then I
it a
must
couple
have
of
missed it,
times
'cause
last
then I wouldn't have been getting on that
Yes.
stand every time, and
I've tried to, but I mean,
There's at least 3 geographic regions within the city that all have a variation of this particular problem that you guys have. And so we're trying to be comprehensive. And if we're gonna have to go through changing ordinance, we wanna make sure that, one, we do it right, so that, you know, even if we all said, oh yeah, it's all agreed, everything's done, if somebody comes back and says, well, no, you didn't have that second public hearing, then everything that we said is a waste of our time and money. So, you know, it's your money. So we don't want to waste any of that. So we want to make sure that we're addressing something that's more comprehensive for all of those that are affected. And you guys on Naramore were really the ones that kind of put this in the spotlight so that we could see how big this problem really is. So, and I thank you for that. And I really wish we were able to get it, move forward a little quicker. And believe me, we're trying to. But I do appreciate you guys bringing it forward, and I do appreciate your patience. I know this is not any, consolation for having to wait.
No.
I get it. I do. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
tag
you're
on
good.
your,
No, you're good.
your comment.
You're good. I was
Yeah.
finished.
Thank you.
Okay. So we'll jump down ahead. And everybody's got a copy of the minutes. We need to all make sure no changes. We'll vote on them next week. This month, a yard of the month is showing U.S. your colors, which is red, white, and blue. The website has got a mistake in it. It says it was June and August, but it's actually July and August. What you have to do, put American flags or red, white, and blue, decorate for July past, we do the patriotic decorations, and send a picture to council meeting questions at cityoflouisville.com, and there'll be a drawing. Each district will have a winner for July and August. So has 10 chances to win some money. Whatever you go to that.
And we won't be picking it hard.
No,
This will take
right,
place.
this is the drawing, places to draw,
Okay.
selection by the council this time. And I think usually Tandy takes the other drawing course. Am I right? So somebody takes the other drawing.
Somebody will.
Well, last year, for y'all's information to help you out too, we had 5 people entered. So Dale Macker won, and 2 of them in the same district. So you can't win if you don't enter.
Put out the decorations, take a picture.
That's right. If you don't have email or you can't figure out how to send to council meeting, go ahead to cityoflouisville.com, we'll figure it out. Text it to me at my City of Louisville phone number, and I'll get it on there for you. Is that fair enough? You can't find the other way to that. My phone number is 678-630-3857. See that? Okay, now the finance. Frank or Candy?
Since I found out at 6 o'clock. So I don't have any special minutes, but we do want to schedule a meeting with the finance committee. If we could do it sometime this week before the council meeting.
Ooh, that's Tony and Denise.
We're looking for it to occur by what date?
Next Monday.
Prior to next Monday, if possible.
Any ideas?
We don't have to do it about that.
I'm available.
Just, we'll talk after the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, water and sewer.
Yes, sir. Just real quickly, the well expiration. I think Dennis gave you a full report last time. Moss Farms is moving ahead. Because of delays of using the geologist that our engineer prefers, they're using a licensed one that they've used, and they understand still has to comply with EPD, the city programs, but they are moving ahead with their money from Moss Farms. The influent pump replacement, we've talked about that also, and the waste pump replacements. So we are working on getting parts for those. Then we'll be making swamp valves, and once we get the replacement part, we will be rotating and having the other ones worked on and repaired. So those go hand in hand. And the actuator rebuild, that's for the fountain. That's still about, the parts are about 6 weeks out. So they're being turned on during the day. They're turned off when the guys go home in the evenings.
Well, as a consolation, Brunswick has shut them down for the summer because they got trash in their pumps, they couldn't replace them. So they've shut their down for the summer, so at least we got something going.
We're trying to keep it running, but the one part that we're waiting on is about 6 weeks out.
Tidbit of knowledge that I found out in Savannah during our annual convention. if you don't mind. I heard, and this is the statistics, that the fountains are a wonderful idea, although they cost more than putting in an entire pool and staffing it. But they're they're not easy to maintain, but they're a very popular choice among cities, and it really is a good thing to have, because I know I see the kids getting brought down there, running through the fountain. But I just wanted to share that with everyone here and everyone else on council that may not have heard that. But sure enough, I was at a public works course, and they were discussing the costs and maintenance on these fountains. So they're really good. I'm glad that we have one.
So far, nobody's ever drowned in one either.
That's true. That's true.
So far. I should have said that.
Yeah.
I
All right. But I just wanted to share that. So thank you for giving me that opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, the
County Line Road, the repair out there, we're still waiting specifically for the second paving company to give us a quote. I did meet them out on site. It was the paving company that did all the LMIG work, the last LMIG work. And I tried reaching out today and couldn't get anybody to answer the phone, so Monday night, we're either going to come with one proposal from the contractor we've already received, but we've been trying to get a second.
There's one, this County Line Road between Highway 51 and Athens Street, in front of Ralph Bo's place. The pavement is just deteriorating and they're bad.
So,
That's something up for you?
no, that's absolutely it.
I think
All right, the traffic count,
I've had phone calls about that. People sitting beside the road trying to go past.
our engineer, I think I shared that with you. Our engineer insists that the people were mandatory because he didn't feel he could get the information out of the digital traffic count, specifically on the split between truck and car counts. So, and his estimate on
On a
that.
holiday week?
No, it's last week's estimate.
No, it was last week. It was a holiday week. It was the week of the holiday.
I saw him on Saturday.
But the project cost is supposed to be about $7,500 from what I saw. And that was gonna be there was another count period in there that was going to be closer to
With actual school traffic?
It would be closer to the school traffic. That was the plan, yes.
You said 7,500?
Yes. I think Dennis sent you the response that the Norfolk Southern provided, so he is trying to set up a meeting date with Norfolk Southern with all the other attendees invited.
Did we get a date yet?
I have not seen a date yet. He's been,
The one I saw was July 24th, I think. So I don't know if you got a
I know they acknowledged receipt of the letter, so he was working on getting a specific date so we can make sure all the Banks County Commissioners are GDOT, the rail traffic safety, and Senator Alsop's office would be notified so they can all attend.
If they have that, in the projected timeframe, and it's a success of being able to get all those people in a room or whatever, I would love to attend by Zoom meeting, which might allow for more opportunity for others that were invited to attend as well. So if there's any way I could, put that in the list of requests, if we could include a Zoom option on that meeting, I would greatly appreciate it.
But I sort of, we're sort of waiting on them to get that was right. It's sort of the railroad's ballpark.
Yes, Dennis has been talking to the gentleman and trying to lock him into a specific date and time.
Mayor, just so y'all know, you may have had these emails, but my understanding as well was that there was a request, there may have been a conflict for the folks from Senator Ossoff's office for the meeting date that was set. And so the response apparently from all others was, then we'll have 2 meetings. But since we have a meeting where the railroad can attend, let's hold that meeting and confirm that. And if that means we've got to have a second meeting and find the federal folks that apparently believe they may be able to help fund some of the repair costs for that option, then we'll schedule that second meeting once we have that first one. But it's taken us so long to get everybody together for the first meeting. The idea was, let's hold that together as best we can.
You said that's July 24th?
Well, I was not firm on that. No,
Okay.
that was not firmed up. That was, I think that was the second, the first date that proposed was not gonna work anybody. I think it was 16 or something, 17. It wasn't gonna work anybody, so they tried to back it out one more week.
We'll
There's
forward
nothing,
you-
nothing firmed up.
Okay.
We'll forward the email. I don't remember
All right.
off the top of my
Yeah, I
head.
haven't seen
I-
any of that, so.
Okay, we sort of hit 6 a while ago, but we still need a schedule for meeting, planning and zoning committee.
If I-
Okay.
I did want to give you a handout on the work that's going on.
That's what we involved in that. Would enjoy that.
I know you guys had a look at the initial. And I think Wayne's still back there. He is. But his folks have spent a good bit of time working through, and we had some pretty honest discussions about various options and
I can use one of them, maybe not bad,
yeah, resend those of you that don't have this, a digital copy, so you can blow it up. But what we did is we added a third column to each of those, that's the white column. So that was a starting point for discussion on recommendations that they might come back with you with, once they made a final decision. And like I said, they did meet. Their intent was to meet next month and formalize their decision and a recommendation to council, what they think should change and be addressed. So this will be folded up to you in digital copy so you can blow it up.
So
Yes, sir.
this will make sure I understand the white column here, this is what they're recommending.
It's what they looked at as a consideration.
Okay.
So it won't necessarily be the final setback footage or house size or any of those other options. We did talk about adding maybe 2 residential districts. And we also talked about maybe recommending taking away 1 or 2 of the commercial districts that aren't being used currently. So there's those discussions going on. So they wanted to have the opportunity to look through it this month, ask more questions, and then come back with a final recommendation to you at the next meeting.
So we don't need to meet yet, as a committee, then we'll talk.
Well, I would like to share this a little more in detail with the committee. So
okay.
the same comment will come back after the meeting, and let's set a date that we can sit down and discuss.
So that being the case, release and going. Which it doesn't have to be this week either, does it?
No.
Okay, I think you mentioned Veteran Park down in the Summer Boys.
I think I've sort of already addressed that.
You get to that, yeah. All right, looks like we got that historical meeting before Monday, which is second,
22nd.
at the back of the head. Okay. And your fall festival will be September 28th, 29th.
Yes.
And somebody told me y'all got over 100 vendors already, or over 90 vendors already, is that correct?
No, I do not have 90 vendors yet. I did last year. I'm working on it this year.
I
I
heard the rumors. I know I got 90 vendors, that's okay.
No, that was last year.
That's not trouble.
Working on getting that many now.
Yeah. Anyway, congratulations on that too. All right, little ladies, it's Wednesday, the 24th.
24.
Yeah, I got that right too. I'm getting better at this. The Carter Alley Path meeting is tomorrow night, 6 to 9. That's at Councilman Development Authority. with GMC. And development party meets on Tuesday, the 23rd of September. And the Read and Rocket Summer Program is still going on the rest of this month. The bookmobile's coming up to the depot on Mondays at 10 to noon. And that's, okay. Time again for citizen comments. You guys going to add some more to it, or? Okay, Mordecai, your turn.
Okay, thank you. Words of encouragement and advice. We citizens, as well as all of our elected officials, regardless of the capacity in which they serve, must empty out the negative and adopt positive attitude. This can be a great way for little Georgia to move forward like other cities in the world. Just remember, no matter how you want to do the right things in life, there will always be people who try to harm and discredit you. Remember too, that there will always be people against you no matter how you try to help and make their lives better. But trials and adversity teach us about ourselves. There is a song that probably could describe all of us. It says, people only see how we are on the outside, but Jesus really knows how we are in the inside. So we better know where our hearts are, because that is the important thing that counts today, no matter what you are engaged in. We shouldn't let discouragement about what we face keep us from striving ahead to make our city a better place to live and work. We citizens want all the elected or appointed people in whatever capacity you serve in city government and ruler to keep in mind, while your windshield is bigger than your rearview mirror, it's because what's in front of you is so much more important than what's behind you. What you must realize is that stuff only gets better because people show up and work. Nobody else is coming to save the day, so you have to be the one to do it. Also, only a fool says never. Just remember there is nothing to it but to do it. Don't settle for anything even in the face of opposition, but keep going because there are better things in front of you. Let all of us forgive those that were opposed to any of our efforts to make Louisville, Georgia a city where everyone can enjoy living in peace and safety. Also, whatever we do, make sure that God would approve of our ways and means of doing it. We want God to approve of our efforts and say, well done, my faithful servant. Thank all of you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Lord.
Okay, it's time for council. Just run through it.
First of all, I want to say I went to the Savannah conference, and it was amazing to learn the different things that I learned about different cities. It was great to take a class on Downtown Development Authority, because I actually have things and ideas that I wrote down that I want to bring back, not only to our PATH meetings, but also to the Downtown Development Authority meetings. So thank y'all for sending us to the Savannah conference, because it does help all of us. And I know that things aren't moving fast enough for some, but we are working on those things. We have not given up. They're still on our radar. So thank you all.
I'd like to thank everyone coming down. I hope everybody has a great 4th of July. Come back next year.
Thank everybody for coming. I hope everybody stays cool in this hot weather, and just thank God we don't have traffic cameras, because I've been fighting with a traffic camera violation all day from 2 years ago out of Tallulah, and I can't get my tags renewed, so let's hope we never install those around here. Whoops.
Is she needing downtown yet? Tag reader downtown.
I also went to the Savannah conference, and I didn't get to sign up for the classes I wanted to sign, which was probably a blessing, because I would have probably never chose the classes I went to, and they were really great, and I did learn a lot. And one of the things that was brought up in one of the classes, which is hit to something that we were doing here with Naramore Way and everything, the zoning and how we changed that. At the time that we done that, and a lot of cities do this, you make decisions in survival mode, which is what we were at that point with the subdivision come in. We were in survival mode to fix an issue at that moment without digging deep to fix a problem that was fixing to happen. Now, with it, we are in correction mode and getting it exactly right. And with that, it comes time, because we don't want to make the same mistakes that we made in survival mode. So now we want to make sure that we get every part of it right and not mess up something else. And I know that it's frustrating being on the other end because it's slow moving, but at the same time, you should be thankful to an extent, because I know that it's frustrating, the time thing, but be thankful that we're being thoughtful about what we're doing and that we're not going through it in the survival mode, and that we're actually putting the thought and the time and the effort to get it the way it needs to be this time. Even though it's frustrating when you're trying to do something, in the long run, it's better whenever you get it right and you're not in the survival mode. So please be patient with us as we're trying to do it the right way and hopefully not have to go back to it again. Thank y'all for coming out, and I'd say enjoy the weather, but it's really hot.
It is hot. I have to find myself sitting down more often now, trying to do work outside. I do also want to share again, I did have the chance of going to our annual convention, Georgia Municipal Association's annual convention in Savannah this year. I've probably got about 30 things that my key takeaways from all of it. And I'm not going to sit here for 30 minutes on each one of these, and I know everyone doesn't want to hear that. But I will say, one of the things I noted was, here at Lula, we have what I understand to be 56 centerline miles of road. And we talk about our potholes and resurfacing and all of these things. And I know, just from this year's pricing, in order for us just to resurface those, it'd be over $40 million. Just to resurface the whole thing. Now, obviously, we have capital improvement projects, and we try to evaluate which roads need them more so than others. But I'm actually looking at and discovered some additional techniques that have been done and other products that are out there. One of which I mentioned to Frank earlier was something called full depth reclamation. And I'm just considering it, what it does is it really just kind of pulverizes the asphalt that's underneath it, digs up all the dirt, puts Portland cement in it, puts it back down. And what it does, what it's designed to do is give you a stronger road base. And everyone out there that's been in road construction knows infinitely more about this than I do, because I just found out about it last 2 weeks ago. So, but it's just one of the things I'm exploring, whether we do it or whether we don't. It's something that we can put in our back pocket as an option to save some additional funds. Another thing I did was I attended another public works course. And I want to make sure that we have an opportunity to really reach out to our public works and give them that opportunity to share with us what they think we need in order for them to be more effective and efficient at their jobs. Because they all have ideas. I just want to make sure that we get a good chance to pull that out of them and really help them do their job. Because they all want to do a good job. Another thing I talked about with some public works was GIS mapping. That's another topic that you might hear us bring up, here in the next, 6 months or so. It's GIS mapping services, where we know where our water supply lines are, where our storm water lines are. And this will be the last comment I make. Our public works staff, if you just ask any one of them, they would be able to pinpoint, take you straight to every single culvert in our city that must be cleared out in order to prevent flooding. Because if we have a lot of, flooding and debris, clogging up our culverts, they know which ones, cause issues, because they're constantly having to go out and take care of those. But I just want to say, kudos, to all of our public works staff. I thank you so much for you all, being part of our community here in Leawood. We couldn't do this without you. And I also want to say thank you to every one of you that came tonight, and I appreciate you all being here. Stay safe, try to stay cool, really hot out there, but thank you again.
How do you follow that? Well, he mentioned a couple of things I have on my list, but if I talk about the public works staff, the one thing we're working on, we've sort of stagnant about it right now, is the Carter Street and Tattoo Street's culverts. I haven't heard any more about those and why, Frankie, the bids on those.
Are we still waiting on?
I'm
Is
still
that
waiting on
easements?
easements for,
There was the only one I knew of, we'd gotten one in, and we had one that they wanted to, somebody to go out and stake their property so they would see what was gonna be there, want to know what was gonna be above ground, if anything. And there's a couple others I just have never heard from.
Dennis has the copy of the easements also, so he was going to,
stake it out, talk to them.
he was gonna make sure Rent had to have the stakes, but for the one property owner, but he was gonna talk to the 3 remaining property owners to get signatures.
Okay. We made public works, I had it on my list, I said, I'm gonna go ahead and ask it right now. And something else we're still working on is the sidewalks from downtown to the wellness park, we're still trying to get that in the works.
Yes,
I'm already on the east, we are on the right of way.
I think everything I saw from Rent preliminarily was they could fit it in the existing right-of-ways, no additional would be required. Dennis was trying to set up a time for them to come and show you their drawings, so that should be happening shortly.
This is some of the stuff that's on my list.
Yes. They've done the field work. What I saw come back was no additional right-of-way was needed, and so there was room to place them all, and they were supposed to set up a meeting to come and show you the drawings before they went into the full design.
And our Wi-Fi at Wellness Park, where we at that? We got electricity in?
I'm
So
sorry.
the Wi-Fi building at Wellness Park?
No, we have not gotten that yet. We're waiting for,
Pricing or?
Dennis was trying to find another price on the heating and cooling unit for the small building so that it could be finished up. You got anything else you wanted to say, Wayne?
Yeah.
So once we got that, we could close it up and go ahead.
I'm just
and-
trying to kind of
Yes.
stir the pot over here. Stuff we got behind, and we're sort of let slide, and we're trying not to do that.
Now, Wayne was out for a little while. He was the pushing force on the little building. So that's what we're waiting on. Dennis didn't like he thought the prices of some of the heating and cooling units were definitely more than what we spent in construction of the building
The
itself.
whole building. Okay, I won't like everybody to come, and like I said, we're trying to get this stuff solved, and we're making this, and we're trying to talk to each other, to get this figured out among ourselves, to help you out too. But I do want to thank you for coming, have another meeting next Monday night, and hopefully have some answers for you, or at least more information about the answers. But now, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion by Denise, second by Juliet to adjourn, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. We're adjourned. Thank you, sir.
My week is crazy, y'all.